to another edition of Highways and Hometowns. My name is Patrick Tarleton. I am the host of our wonderful TCPA podcast. I am here with my co-host, Chris Rowland from Ameritex. Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself. Let's get rolling.
Yeah, sure. I am with Ameritex. I am also the chairman of the Texas Concrete Pipe Association, and we're welcoming Michel here today, and we're looking forward to another edition of our podcast.
Absolutely. Guys, if you've never met the man, the myth, and the legend, all right, this man is an inspiration to all of us. He is at every event you will go to in Texas. He is the Michel Maksoud. Michel, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you, Patrick. I don't know if I can live up to that, but I think a real brief. My message is, from my background, is I was born in Lebanon, in the country of Lebanon. And I came to the States, I went to Penn State, I got a PhD in civil engineering. And from there, I went and worked with Brown & Root for about 8 years. And then I joined DEC, which I had been with DEC for 25 years. And about 2019, I took over as president. And we just sold the company to Gannett Fleming, and that's why today I'm the senior executive, I'm the senior director of Texas operations with Gannett Fleming. A very, very nice and rewarding career. I love where I am, and I'm looking forward to contributing.
Perfect. Talk to us a little bit about some challenges that you've had or that are existing today in the engineering community. You know, we're here at CECon. One big thank you to the ASCE Texas section for putting this show on. This is the largest gathering of engineers in the state of Texas every year. So we would be remiss if we didn't tell everybody thank you for their great and hard work. But talk to us as we come together and collectively talk about challenges, opportunities, education. Talk to us about some challenges facing the engineering community today.
The number one challenge that I see that's facing the engineering community today is having enough engineers, which is an interesting thing. So walk around here, ask anyone, ask any company, do you have enough staff? No, we're looking for staff. So that's the number one challenge, and we've been dealing with that for a lot of years. And you go to organizations, and everybody kind of complains about that. The question is, what do we do about it as an industry? So I have been advocating to have an organization do a grassroots movement, and then go back to schools, entice people to get into engineering, entice people to get into the STEM field so that they get into engineering. I personally have done a few efforts to help students kind of get them excited STEM so that they can join the engineering field. But that's really the number one issue facing us. The secondary issue would be today's work ethic is different from the work ethic of before. My message to all the young ones now is, you know, if a Lebanese guy born in Lebanon can get here and then be the CEO of a 250-person company, anybody can do it. It just takes hard work. I'm not exactly the smartest person in the world. I'm not, you know. So it's not about smarts, really. The number one thing that says if you're gonna get there or not is grit. You gotta keep working it, you're gonna keep working at it, and you'll get there.
No, but yeah, I was going to say, back to your point about the grassroots and starting a little earlier. In my recollection, many years ago in school, we did have more drafting classes. We had more classes that even the shop classes, the hands-on, where I've seen schools move away from more of that. Yes, we're starting to get some technical offshoots in the ISD systems, but you're right, where the grassroots at the foundation, middle school and high school, are they even being exposed and educated to a career in these type of industries? And that just naturally progresses through. Many years later, you're left with the shortage in that specific industry.
Yeah. Michelle, Chris, workforce development is a huge deal. Staffing is a huge deal for every company out there. Our association, the Associated General Contractors of Texas, AGC Texas, NUCA, the National Utility Contractor Association, everyone is engaged in this workforce development conversation. There's not enough staff for an engineering firm. There's not enough staff for Ameritex. There's not enough staff for the contractors building the highways. It is a major problem today. I'd like to expand on that a little bit and have you guys talk about what we can do to solve that. We all know it's a problem. Talk to us a little bit about what you're doing to kind of overcome that problem.
Yeah, my point was we got to fill the pipeline. Because if you look at today, what happens is, if you're talking about engineering companies, okay, I need engineers, so how do I get engineers? Well, let's not be too what's the word here? Too nice about it. Basically, they reach out and steal somebody else's staff, right? So what happens is, I go steal from your staff, you come back, and then you steal from my staff. And as a result, now we're asking the staff, and we kind of cajoling them and saying, okay, no, please stay with us. And it kind of starts a little bit of a bidding war and a little bit of a change in scope. Well, I want to do this, but I don't want to do that, kind of a thing. So the idea is to fill the pipeline back with engineers who want to come and work in engineering. And the way to do it is to go back to not the university, to go back to high school and even before that. Go back and then entice people to go to the STEM, towards STEM. Well, how do you do that? You have to engage the schools. Well, I certainly can do a little bit. I engage schools. I go meet with them. I present certain things that are STEM. I presented for kids, hey, look, this is what a bridge looks like, that kind of stuff to get their interest up for it. But individual efforts are not going to go. We need a more concerted effort by the whole industry, and we need to name one organization that we support, and its function is to go ahead and encourage STEM in schools. That's the key. The key is to be able to get one organization to be able to do that.
Yeah, and we see that a lot with the AGC. Not to get political, we're getting ready to come into a season, so I've been meeting with a lot of our legislatures, and that is a big issue we've brought up to the legislators, that we need workforce development. How do we do that? And we're not putting it on their shoulders. We're asking to partner, and they're looking to industry as well to do it, and we've got a lot of ideas. We're working through those, and it's exactly as you say. Industry needs to get in there from the lower levels and engage, because we can't expect a legislator and a teacher to do this all. The industry has to come through and start building it. We've gone as far as talking about operators, heavy equipment operators. Big crunch on that. It's not something that somebody goes to college to learn how to run a major piece of equipment. There are simulators. Those simulators are very expensive, so there's programs looking where can industry and our associations sponsor these simulators to go into technical schools to teach these children. So it's happening. You said, it's not going to happen overnight, but we've got to continue as an industry, because the workforce that we need in engineering and construction and manufacturing, we have to develop it, and these are very, very good careers that these people can look to.
Michel, I'm going to joke with you a little bit, but you are the king of social media when it comes to these events, but it's important. I joke with you, we always have a good time when we're together. We always take a selfie, and it's the first one to post, right? But that is how you connect with young people today. It's totally different than when I was coming up in my professional career. That wasn't even a component of workforce development today. And it's something you do naturally, but it is not something our employers do naturally. And so I'd like for you to just, have a conversation about how that helps you network and connect, etc., because that is the avenue for connection these days.
Well, I think you hit on something, not broadly just social media, So if a company goes and posts something, I mean, it would have to be really, really, really interesting for people to look at. I mean, like extremely interesting. And I don't know how often that happens. But if a person is posting about something, about a personal thing, about their own emotions, about their feelings, about their connections, those connections are what drives us to look at things. So you can have the best posting machine in the world. If it's not personal, if it's not coming from you, it's not going to have a following, and it's not going to resonate with people.
People interact with people. People don't interact with a company.
Exactly, absolutely, 100%. So that's really the secret. I don't know if it's a secret, but the point is we need to have our people connect with other people versus a company just says, we did this, look at us, we did this great job, this is whatever it is. It's interesting, but it doesn't connect with people. That's what I believe the case is.
One of the other, we were talking earlier, and this social media, and we were just saying how that is the newer generation coming in that interacts. One of the things we talked about was the technology. And that is the same type of thing. Social media is a form of technology. And you'd mentioned about how that technology is moving and what we need to do to interact with that.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, if we're going to go to technology, another challenge is to keep up with technology. Technology is increasing at an exponential rate. So we have to keep up with it. And some of the conversations that we're having, the latest thing is AI. AI, some people think if we let AI go, it's going to take over the world. And some people think that AI is just going to be a little tool in the box that you're going to stick somewhere. So I think it's probably somewhere in between. I don't think it's going to take over the world. But you could use AI and it makes your life so much easier. All right, so that's one piece of technology. The point is we need to rely on technology to enhance our lives and keep up with technology. That will make everybody's life easier.
No, I definitely see that. Being as somewhat of an old timer, that I have learned to make sure that I'm embracing new technology, learning it, because if you don't, you will be left behind. The world in technology is going to progress. It happened 80 years ago, 100 years ago, whether it was the invention of the automobile. It's going to continue to progress, and so it's up to us as individuals to keep up with that technology, with society as it moves forward.
Michel, I'm going to totally switch gears on you.
Okay.
Tell us a cool project that your company is working on today. It's been neat. We've heard some of the neatest projects across the state being showcased in breakout sessions at CECon, right? For those of you that don't know, CECon is 3 full days of education, networking, project development, engineering. It truly is the largest gathering of civil engineers in Texas. Just tell us one project that you guys are working on that you find interesting that people might connect with.
Ooh.
There's so many.
Yeah. There are a lot, and I can only talk about Texas because I haven't gone nationwide yet, especially since I'm the Senior Director of Texas Operations.
Well, there's plenty going on in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there's there's so many projects. You got to help people, whether it's flood control projects, whether it's big transportation projects. I know we have an I-2 connector in the FAR district that we're working on. We have a Loop 1604 in the San Antonio district. I mean, I can describe the projects, but really it's about enhancing people's lives. And without these big projects, and we were talking earlier about when it's under construction, people are saying, it's bothering me or whatever, right? But then you got to look at the end. What does it do? It enhances mobility. It's safer. It's all good for society, but we have to go through a little pain when we construct it. What do you think of that?
No, it's 100% right, and it's kind of back to a little bit of, we talked about the generations or work ethics, and nobody wants to experience any pain. They want the magic wand of it to be wonderful, and really it's a lot of hard work by a lot of people. There's a little bit of inconvenience, and the benefit at the end is great. And so I've taught my adult children now that, sometimes you have to forego certain things in the immediate term for the greater benefit longer term. And so it's something that we've seen a shift. I sometimes call it the microwave generation. They don't realize that sometimes you had to cook something, you couldn't just put it in a microwave and it was done in 15 seconds.
Well, have you ever heard of the term NIMBY? NIMBY, right? So not in backyard, not in my backyard, right?
Yes, yeah.
And the NIMBYism has been increasing a little bit, right? We always had it, but it's been increasing a little bit. So we need to go out and understand that we're doing it for the good of the society, of our community. That's why we're doing it. So when we go to, let's say, TxDOT does a project and they have this public meeting about it, well, the people who benefit from it don't show up. It's the people who don't like it for one reason or the other, and even if it's 100% legitimate reason, right? But they're the only ones speaking versus the people who are benefiting, which may be the majority of the people. So we got to understand that we ought to work together for the benefit of the community, for the good of the community. I make it a point when I get a chance to go out there and speak on behalf of the project, whatever it is, right? So I actually put some time on there and I say, yes, I want to take my 3 minutes, and I want to thank TxDOT for doing this work. It enhances mobility and safety in the region. It enhances drainage. And I thank them and I leave, versus the other comments, well, I don't like this, you're taking this over, whatever, which may be perfectly legitimate, but we got to work together again for the better of the community.
See, that's why you said he's the king.
Yeah.
The legend.
Yeah.
They opened CECon with an incredibly eloquent service member that said something that was really profound that I'd like to that you're evidencing today. He said, the work that the people in this room do changes lives for the better. And he said, a mother is able to drive our highways to get food for her children, right? Her young kids. An injured person is able to get to a hospital faster and safer because of the work we do. And when Mother Nature throws her worst at us, we are able to allow that to come and go with minimal impact in most cases. Nobody talks like that anymore, but that is what the civil engineering community is doing.
100%. And we don't advertise that. We don't tell people that, right? All they see is the inconvenience that you talked about. That's all they see. So we need to be able to just educate people, really. I mean, they don't mean anything by it. They just don't understand how it's affecting their lives. And we need to tell them how it's affecting their lives.
Chris? Okay. Well, I'm gonna put you both on the spot.
Okay.
Right. Okay. The episode before this, we had 10 students, and I asked them, give some freshmen some guidance that they were all going to be seniors, and so give a freshman some guidance that'll help to get them from freshman year to senior year. And they said, cumulatively, work hard, show up, adapt, communicate. Tell somebody, a 30-year-old, a 35-year-old who is lower level engineer, lower level management, give them one bit of advice that helps them to get where you two are today.
Oh, okay. Well, that's really easy. I've been preaching that for forever. I had hoped somebody preached that to me when I was growing. But first of all, maybe I'll start with a joke. Can I start with a joke?
Yes, please.
All right. So, what is the difference between an introvert engineer and an extrovert engineer? Well, the extrovert looks at your shoes when he's talking to you. So by nature, engineers are introverts, right? So we don't understand relationships. My advice is you got to work on your relationships. And how do you do that? So I'm going to give you the recipe. You start being part of an organization. You contribute to the organization. You show up to ASE lunches. You show up to ACEC lunches. You show up to ASME lunches. The point is you build your network when you start. And when you start, you're gonna meet like-minded people. I mean, you get different degrees, right? Maybe you're a junior and you got a lot of seniors over here, but you also have juniors. Even if you don't build a relationship with seniors, let's say you don't, you only see the people that are at your level. Even if you do that, as you grow in your career, these people are gonna be in a decision position, right? You're gonna grow together in your career. And guess what? As you both grow, this is going to be a city manager of whatever. This guy is going to be the technical services for whatever, right? So you're growing together, and then you can at that point, hey, I know you. Can you help me out with this? You know me. I can help you out with that, right? So it's relationships. I can't emphasize enough. I wish somebody had told me that growing up, right? So it's about knowing people and having good relationships with the whole industry, with everybody else. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, and I would say something very, very similar. My advice would be to get involved and don't stop learning. And so it's that communication, like you'd said about there's going to be different people in different areas. Don't be afraid to reach out. Another thing sometimes the top level engineers have a reputation for is they know because they have the PE stamp. Mm-hmm. Don't be afraid to reach out to the experts in industry and learn from them, because there's things going on outside people's knowledge and scope, and we have the smartest guy in the room and still looks out to other people to ask. So that's one thing I really believe in is, and the other thing I would say, and it's not really for them coming along, but it is as they progress, don't forget to turn back around and help the next person. As you grow, you're going to have people that you've reached out to that you said that will help educate, to share their knowledge, and you're going to get to a certain point in life, which I know now, and I need to remember, and I do, to turn around and help the next group come up, because the window on ourselves eventually starts getting smaller and closes, and you want to make sure the industry and what we're doing in the civil construction group is brought up from the next level. So.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So just bring up the next person behind you. Don't forget it.
So one way that somebody said it before, I won't mention her name, but she said, as you're growing the corporate ladder, get on a shelf, reach down, and pull somebody with you, right? So that's very, very important. I'm glad you mentioned that. And as you grow in your career, obviously you're helping others. I mean, I focused on helping yourself, but you definitely have to help others. And the way you have, today I'm mentoring a few people, for example, but also be helpful, right? So, I mean, when I say a relationship, it doesn't mean, okay, I know you, let's just joke around, right? It's be helpful. How can I help you? How can you help me? Kind of thing. So it's a genuine relationship, but not like I know you, we're good. Yeah.
Y'all, it's been a pleasure. Thank you. There has been more knowledge imparted in this session than I think we've had in many, many, many sessions on our podcast. My name is Patrick Charlton. On behalf of everybody, Michel, Chris, thank you so much for taking 30 minutes of your day to spend with us. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. My absolute pleasure.
Michel, thank you.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed having you.
Take care.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.